The philosophy of Seneca. Seneca was a Roman statesman, orator, dramatist, and philosopher who lived from 4 before Christ to 65 Anno Domini. He was one of the most prominent figures of the Silver Age of Latin literature and one of the most influential exponents of Stoicism, a school of philosophy that teaches how to live a virtuous and happy life. Seneca wrote many works on various topics such as ethics, politics, rhetoric, physics, and theology. He also composed letters, essays, dialogues, and tragedies, which are considered masterpieces of Latin prose and poetry. His works are rich in wisdom, eloquence, and style, and they have inspired and influenced many thinkers and writers throughout history. In this article, we will explore some of the main themes and teachings of Seneca's philosophy and how they can help us to live a better and more meaningful life. The goal of life. According to Seneca, the ultimate goal of human life is to achieve happiness, which he defines as a smooth flow of life, tranquillitas animi. Happiness is not dependent on external things such as wealth, fame, power, or pleasure, but on our own inner state of mind. Happiness is attained by living in harmony with nature and by cultivating virtue, reason, and self-control. Seneca argues that most people are unhappy because they pursue the wrong things and they neglect the true goods of life, which are the virtues. The virtues are the qualities that make us good human beings, and they are the same for everyone, regardless of their circumstances. The virtues are wisdom, the ability to use reason and logic to understand the nature of things and to make sound judgments and decisions. Courage, the ability to face and overcome fear, pain, danger, and adversity, and to act according to our values and principles. Justice, the ability to treat others fairly and kindly, and to respect their rights and dignity. Temperance, the ability to control our impulses and desires, and to moderate our actions and emotions. Seneca advises us to practice and improve these virtues every day, and to measure our progress by our own standards, not by the opinions of others. He also reminds us that we should be grateful for what we have, and not to be greedy for what we do not have. He says, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." The dichotomy of control. Another key concept of Seneca's philosophy is the dichotomy of control, which is the distinction between the things that are within our control and the things that are not. According to Seneca, the only things that are fully within our control are our own thoughts, opinions, judgments, and actions. Everything else, such as our health, wealth, reputation, relationships, and events, are either partially or completely outside our control and are subject to the laws of nature and fate. Seneca teaches that we should focus our attention and energy on the things that are within our control and accept the things that are not with calmness and detachment. By doing so, we can avoid unnecessary stress, anxiety, anger, and frustration, and maintain a positive and rational attitude. We can also use the challenges and difficulties that we face as opportunities to practice and improve our virtues and to grow as human beings. Seneca says, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." He encourages us to examine and evaluate our thoughts and emotions before we act on them, and to correct and improve them if they are irrational or harmful. He also advises us to prepare ourselves for the worst possible scenarios and to imagine how we would cope with them. This exercise, known as premeditation of evils, premeditatio malorum, helps us to reduce our fear and anxiety and to increase our confidence and courage. The role of reason and emotions. Seneca is often misunderstood as a philosopher who advocates suppressing or ignoring our emotions and becoming cold and indifferent. However, this is not the case. Seneca does not deny or reject emotions, but rather teaches us how to manage them in a healthy and constructive way. Seneca recognizes that emotions are natural and inevitable, and that they have a useful function in our lives. However, Seneca also warns us that emotions can be irrational and misleading, and that they can interfere with our ability to think clearly and act wisely. Therefore, Seneca advises us to use reason and logic as our guide, and to examine and evaluate our emotions before we act on them. Seneca distinguishes between two types of emotions, passions and feelings. Passions are the negative and destructive emotions, such as anger, fear, grief, and envy, that are caused by our false or distorted judgments about the things that are outside our control. Feelings are the positive and constructive emotions, such as joy, love, gratitude, and compassion, that are based on our true and rational judgments about the things that are within our control. Seneca teaches us how to reduce and eliminate the passions, and how to cultivate and enhance the feelings, by correcting and improving our judgments and perspectives. The art of living and dying. Seneca's philosophy is not only a theory, but also a practice, an art of living and dying well. Seneca believes that life is a gift and a responsibility, and that we should make the best use of it. He says, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Seneca urges us to live in the present, and not to dwell on the past or worry about the future. He says, "The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately." He also encourages us to live according to our nature, and not to conform to the expectations or conventions of society. He says, "The first and most important field of philosophy is the application of principles such as, 'Do not lie.' Next come the proofs, such as, 'Why we should not lie.' The third field supports and articulates the proofs, by asking, for example, 'How does this prove it? What exactly is a proof? What is logical inference? What is contradiction? What is truth? What is falsehood?' Thus, the third field is necessary because of the second, and the second because of the first. The most important, though, the one that should occupy most of our time, is the first. Seneca also teaches us how to face and embrace death, which he considers as a natural and inevitable part of life. He says, "Death is a release from and an end of all pains. Beyond it, our sufferings cannot extend. It restores us to the peaceful rest in which we lay before we were born." He advises us to be ready and willing to die at any moment, and not to fear or avoid it. He says, "The day which we fear as our last is but the birthday of eternity." Conclusion. Seneca is a philosopher who offers a practical and rational way of living that can help us to achieve happiness, virtue, and wisdom. Seneca teaches us how to live in harmony with nature, how to focus on the things that are within our control, how to manage our emotions in a healthy and constructive way, and how to live and die well. By applying the principles and practices of Seneca's philosophy, we can improve our character and behavior, and live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to get notified of new videos. I'd appreciate your comments and suggestions. Don't miss other interesting videos on my channel. See you next time.